Hey everyone, James Baek here, and it's time for some more Doubles Battle Spot, also known as VGC 2015. And today's team will be using Hariyama, Escavalier, Landers, Varian, Cresselia, Ampharos, and Chandelure. Now this team, its main purpose is Trick Room. Sending out the Trick Room, having heavy hitters such as Escavalier and Mega Ampharos dominate. And we are going to go against someone from Japan. 1704 ranking. Let's see how we're gonna do. Looks like his team is also gonna be Trick Room with Porygon 2, Chandelure, Bisharp, Abomasnow, Gastrodon, and Hitmontop. So Hariyama is definitely gonna be valuable in this matchup. It can hit about 4 Pokemon in this team super effectively, and his other 2 pretty hard. And let's see, Escavalier is definitely going to be helpful as well. I think I'm going to lead Chandelure, and I'm thinking Hariyama. I honestly don't see Ampharos doing that much this game, unfortunately. It really can't hit any of his team really that hard. I'm going to bring Escavalier, and my last option is either Landers or Cresselia. Landers does give me Earthquake coverage, but he could have Wide Guard on that Hitmontop. Cresselia offers me Trick Room to counter his Trick Room, but doesn't do much against his team. I actually think I'm gonna go Landers because I do have superpower on this Landers that hits 3 of his Pokemon very hard. It hits his Porygon 2, his Bisharp, and his Abomasnow for good damage. It also has Earthquake to hit the Chandelure. And let's just see how this is gonna go. So I did not bring my Trick Room setter in Cresselia, which means I probably won't be saying out Trick Room. I'm going to use Chandelure for some heavy offensive pressure. He's going to lead Chandelure and Hitmontop versus my Chandelure and Hariyama. So he does get an advantage by getting the Intimidate off. I am going to Shadow Ball his Chandelure, and I'm going to go for the knockoff. Or do I want to go for Helping Hand? Actually, since he's probably going to fake out my Hariyama, I might as well just go for the Helping Hand and knock out the Chandelure if possible. Although most Chandelures that go for Trick Room are usually Focus Sash. His Hitmontop is going to go for the fake out as my Hariyama went for Helping Hand, which has a higher priority. Chandelure going to go for the Shadow Ball, which is going to do a lot of damage, even knock out his Chandelure, and I take an easy 4-3 lead. His Chandelure probably either went for Shadow Ball and lost the speed tie, or what's also possible is he also went for Trick Room, and now he's going to send out his Bisharp. I am going to Chandelure is actually important in this matchup, I think. I think I'm just going to Heat Wave in close combat, so I should be able to knock out the Bisharp. He's probably going to protect, but the match was forfeited. Not the best way to demonstrate this team, so I am going to do another battle, just because that one was way too short. We are going to find someone from Japan, 1698. Let's see how this is going to go. We're going to see quite a standard team, actually, of Salamence, Garchomp, Kangaskhan, Rotom Wash, Tyranitar, and Heatran. He has 4 possible Megas. Kangaskhan most definitely a Mega. And I'm hoping not Sandvale Garchomp. So I'm thinking Landers is definitely going to be useful. Landers hits a lot of his team. I'm gonna go with Cresselia as well, since it does pretty well against this team. And Hariyama, And I do want to bring us Cavalier. But it's between Escavalier and Ampharos. I think I'm gonna go Escavalier because it can 1-hit KO some of his Pokemon. And if I do have Trick Room, I do have Drill Run for the Heatran, so this should be interesting. Let's see how this is gonna go. I mean, Salamence and Garchomp, Double Dragon, very popular in 2012. You don't see it much in 2013. And 2015, this is actually the first time I've seen the Garchomp and Salamence on the same team, I believe. And yeah. This team looks very standard to me. It looks like a combination of 2014 and 2013. The 2014 being the famous Tyranitar, Kangaskhan, Salamence, and Garchomp. And Rotom Wash and Heatran probably added from 2013 because Aaron Zhang really popularized that combo with his team, his World's team from 2013. So let's see how this is going to go. He's going to send out Kangaskhan and Heatran versus my Landorus and Cresselia. So I'm going to get the Intimidate off, which is huge, first of all. Intimidate on Kangaskhan is very nice. His Heatran reveals Air Balloon, though. I'm going to U-turn his Heatran. And I'm going to set up the Trick Room. Yeah, I see no flaws with that. If he fakes out my Landorus, I'm okay with that. If he fakes out my Cresselia, I get the free Trick Room up. So let's see what he's going to go for. Kangaskhan's going to go for Fake Out onto my Landorus, okay. As Landorus is going to flinch, Heatran revealing Taunt, and this is the second time I've seen Taunt Heatran, but okay. I'm going to U-turn the Heatran slot. Yeah, U-turn the Heatran slot. And gonna try to get Hariyama out here. And I'm going to Ice Beam. The Heatran slot in case he switches out into a Dragon, which was unlikely, but there's a chance. U-turn, gonna connect with the Heatran, gonna pop its Air Balloon. I'm gonna get a free switch out. I'm gonna go into my Hariyama, who's very bulky and probably threatens both of them. I'm not sure if it can KO the Heatran in one close combat, but the Kangaskhan should be gone. He's gonna go for Ice Punch with his Kangaskhan, one of the new tutor moves, which is gonna do very little damage as Heatran goes for the Flash Cannon onto my Cresselia. Probably in case I switched out into Chandelure. And Ice Beam, and ooh, I get the freeze. That freeze is gonna come very in handy. So now I'm guessing he's gonna switch out one of these Pokemon. I'm gonna say one of them. The freeze probably doesn't matter since he can go for Heat Wave. I'm going to close combat the Kangaskhan and Ice Beam the Kangaskhan. So I should be able to KO the Kangaskhan. As he's going to go for the return. Gets a critical hit. As Heatran's going to remain frozen solid. Ice Beam going to happen onto the Kangaskhan. As my taunt is going to wear off, and that is huge. I'm going to send out my Landorus because I can now. As Intimidate's going to happen, so that Kangaskhan is at -2. So now, I'm predicting his Heatran to switch out. Probably does not want to take an Earthquake. I'm going to Superpower the Kangaskhan and Ice Beam the Heatran slot. I could have set up Trick Room, but I don't feel like it. He's gonna withdraw his Heatran, go into Rotom, okay. As Superpower is gonna connect with his Kangaskhan, it's gonna knock it out. As my Landorus's attack and defense is gonna fall. As Ice Beam's gonna happen onto the Rotom, which is gonna do a decent amount for an Ice Beam from Cresselia. Let's see what his next Pokemon will be. He's gonna send out his Garchomp. Okay, I'm guessing you're gonna switch out. Not switch out, protect. So I'm gonna send out Escavalier and set up the Trick Room. Send the Trick Room will be huge. And I can preserve my Landers for Intimidate later. Escavalier is going to be sent out. Rotom Wash is going to withdraw. Go into his Heatran. As Garchomp's just going to go for a Dragon Claw onto the Cresselia. As Trick Room's going to happen. So I'm going to Drill Run the Heatran, because I have Drill Run. And I'm going to rest with my Cresselia since I do have Chesto Berry. And I can heal quite a bit back. Let's see how this is going to go. Hopefully he does not anticipate the Drill Run. If he does, I'll be in a bit of trouble. Looks like he is going to switch out his Heatran, go into Rotom. As Drill Run is going to happen into the Levitate, as Cresselia is going to rest. This is going to heal quite a bit. As Cresselia is going to heal back all his HP, Chesto Berry going to wake it up, and Garchomp going for the Dragon Claw again onto the Cresselia. Since that damage is so much without a Life Orb, I'm guessing Choice Band, so he might want to switch out his Garchomp now. And I'm going to Ice Beam and Drill Run the Garchomp slot in case. I'm not sure what he wants to do with his Rotom Wash. He's probably going to try to burn my Escavalier, which would probably make the most sense. As Escavalier is going to go for the Drill Run onto the Garchomp slot. It's going to do a good amount. As Rough Skin is going to activate. As Cresselia is going to Ice Beam and knock out the Garchomp. As Rotom Wash is just going to go for the Hydro Pump onto the Escavalier, which is going to do about half, which was pretty good damage. And now he's going to send out his Escavalier. Not Escavalier, he's going to send out his Heatran. I'm going to Drill Run that Heatran. And Psychic the Rotom Wash, because I have no reason not to go for those moves. Heatran's going to be frozen solid. Drill Run is going to connect with the Heatran. It's going to knock out the Heatran. And now it's 3 against 1 with his Rotom Wash, but let's see what his Rotom went for. As Cresselia is going to get the Psychic off and do a good amount of damage. Rotom just going to go for the Hydro Pump. He realizes that he probably just has to attack instead of taking chip damage. Escavalier is going to faint. And there's still another turn of Trick Room. I'm going to send out my Landorus, who's going to get the Intimidate off. And now I'm going to Rock Slide. Even though Landorus is probably going to go down this turn, I'm going to Psychic the Rotom Wash. Psychic's going to happen onto the Rotom. It does a good amount. Rotom going to eat its Citrus Berry. As Rotom's going to go for the Hydro Pump, it's going to connect with my Landorus, and this is going to be a close game. It's going to be either my Cresselia or his Rotom Wash. My Cresselia does have the ability to heal. I'm going to try to set up the Trick Room again because I don't know if Hydro Pump is a 2-hit or 3-hit KO. He's going to go for Thunder Wave. He's going to try to rely on a bit of hacks. As Cresselia is paralyzed this turn, and I have no idea what would have happened. I think I'm gonna go for rest. Because I don't know how much damage he's gonna do. Thunderbolt, not doing that much. Rest is going to happen with Cresselia. And it's going to heal back, but I do not have a Chesto Berry, so this match might draw out a little as I'm going to try to go for Psychic, even though I'm guaranteed 2 turns of sleep. He's going to go for the Thunderbolt. Cresselia is fast asleep. As I'm going to try to Psychic the Rotom. He's going to go for Hydro Pump, realizing he needs to go for damage. And that was definitely some big damage. But if he's going for Hydro Pump, he has to realize that he has a chance to miss. I'm going to try to set up the Trick Room here. As Rotom's going to go for the Thunderbolt. As Cresselia is going to wake up this turn and set up the Trick Room. And I really wish I did have Psyshock. I'm guessing this Rotom's more specially defensive. But either way, I'm going to rest again because I really am forced to rest. I really have to close one. I almost lost, but thankfully we are in timer where I wouldn't have been disqualified, and technically I was doing damage and wasn't really stalling. I was basically trying to get the best advantage point by continuing going for rest. It was my only chance to win and get some chip damage off onto the Rotom whenever I can. So I hope you guys liked that video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share with your friends. Follow me on Twitter for updates on my channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitch to know when I'm live streaming. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.